Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. I am so excited to have my guest, Dr. Craig Wright, here again. He has come on this platform before, and if you've seen him, he's amazing. So, Dr. Craig, share it with the people, who you are and what it is that you do.
Sure, I'd be glad to. I am a metaphysician. I have a PhD in metaphysics. Metaphysics is the study of spiritual matters. My specialty is metaphysical counseling, and the tool that I use is numerology. Numerology is an ancient Egyptian science based on the belief. They believe that everything was created by the word. Okay? And words are vibrations that we use letters and numbers as symbols for. So the great Egyptian masters taught that the letters in our name and the numbers in our birth date influence who we are and what will happen during the course of our lifetime. So I've been a student of this fascinating science for over 50 years now.
Oh, wow.
And I've been able to share information, share my findings in the form of having a consultation business that I call Numerology Services.
Nice.
So I've been providing folks with insights via readings in terms of know thyself. That's inscribed over the great halls of wisdom in Egypt, know thyself.
Yes.
So I provide readings, forecasts for all things. There's a season. If you want to be in tune with the spiritual seasons in your life. For example, this year, 2022, as up to 24, which is a 6. And 6 stands for family, domesticity. So we're going to see a lot of marriages and a lot of focus on domestic issues, crime, violence, infrastructure. Those types of things will be focused on universally. But everyone has a personal year, and that's what I provide people with insights into their personal energy vibrations, as well as consultations on just about anything. Anything that has letters and numbers, you can get insight in. My latest endeavor are classes. I'm offering 6 classes.
Nice.
And they're numerology classes, and I call the series Awakening. The Awakening.
Oh, nice.
They're designed to help people really get in tune with who they are, why they're here, how other people are perceiving them, what their challenges are, and how to move in harmony with the universe to ensure success.
Oh, that is powerful. So what prompted you to do the classes? Because we talked before and you weren't doing that.
No, it wasn't. I did a podcast, and it just happened to be that the host of the podcast also was a grant writer.
Oh, awesome.
And they told me that if I had classes, if I had a class format, they would write a grant for me to acquire funds for non-traditional learning, for, how does she put it, challenged youth.
Oh, nice.
People for whom the regular system just didn't work. They fell through the cracks. And basically, people have given up on. I had done some consulting work before at a middle school.
Okay.
Baltimore City. I was invited in to do a mentoring program, but what it turned out to be was all the teachers sent the students who were causing the most confusion in their class to me to be mentored.
Okay.
Which was cool because what I discovered was these were the best and the brightest And these kids were just totally bored at the pace of things. When I began to explain to them who they were and why they were here, and they took to it like ducks to water, and they were able to really make a difference, integrate back into the system. I was able to give it relevance.
Oh, wow.
Based on their goals and why they were here. I was able to give that education system relevance to them, and they were able to kind of blend back into the system. So it was very rewarding. I did it on a volunteer basis.
Nice.
But as it happened, a new principal came into the school, and they weren't as open-minded about ancient Egyptian philosophy.
Yes, yes. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it was a great value to the school, helping those kids to discover who they are.
Remember your question. You asked me where these classes come from. So that was sort of like a challenge. Sometimes the universe will point you in a direction, but it'll be up to you to, kind of follow through on it and keep going. So that was my motivation as I put these classes together. But I'm finding out it's beneficial to everyone. In fact, two of my students are ministers.
Wow.
To take my class. They have very large churches. So
that's really powerful because, that's really powerful because they typically are, down on what they're not up on. And so just for them being open-minded like that, it is awakening.
Yes, it is.
And
it's really a blessing.
It's necessary too, because they probably, to me, they would have so much more to teach their churches if they would learn these tools.
Yes, I'm finding they want to take it to the next level.
Awesome.
They're realizing Jesus was a metaphysician.
Yep.
He did some amazing things contrary to what other people believe were even possible. And he challenged us. He says, these and greater things will you do.
Yes.
One of the things that he had a habit of doing is changing the names of his disciples. And it was a reflection of the fact that he spent time in Egypt, where mom and dad took him to avoid the madman who was killing all the firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was there, he studied with the great masters in Egypt and practiced name changes. Moses was a numerologist. He wrote the 4th book of the scripture called Numbers. He also wrote Psalms 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days so we can apply our hearts to wisdom.
Yeah.
Pythagoras. Now that's a person most people can relate to if you had high school geometry.
Mm-hmm.
At the Pythagorean theorem. Well, Pythagoras studied numerology. In fact, he had something called Pythagorism. Pythagorism. His own following when he came back from studying with the great masters. And he taught geometry, and the metaphysical side is numerology. So a lot of people that are first encountering numerology through me, they think it's something I made up, or I'll tell you, I'm a student. I've been studying this. It's been around 4,000 years. Numerology, information about numbers predates the scripture. So a lot of the information in the Quran, in the Bhagavad Gita, and in the Holy Bible, a lot of information in there. When you see a numeric reference, you have to read the story with, they're trying to tell me something about that number.
Oh, gotcha.
6 vats of water into wine. Okay, everybody knows that story. 6 vats of water into wine. And it was Jesus' first miracle.
Yes.
So as a numerologist, you realize if someone is a number 6, they will put others ahead of themselves. They will love family get-togethers because there was a wedding at that story. They'll have a good appetite and probably be a good cook because there was feasting going on. But if you're a 6, you're a rescuer, because when the wine was created, it rescued the party. The host was rescued. Things are going downhill.
Because if you think about it, why would they have mentioned it otherwise?
So the six is very, very important in that story. So think of number six as Martin Luther King Jr., born on the 15th. 1 plus 5 is 6.
Wow.
Service, mentor, gave his life. Okay? Gave his life. So that's something sixes have to watch out for, because Jesus was basically announcing, I'm here to give it all. So 6 is the number of the martyr. They will put other people ahead of themselves, and they are the greatest among us because they are the servants. And the scripture tells us there is no greater love that a friend give his life.
Right.
All of that points to the number 6.
That is powerful. That's powerful. That is so powerful. I had a question. There was a question in there. I think it was concerning when you help people in your sessions with the numerology, are people readily more accepting at this time more than they were in the past, or how has that transitioned?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. But what I'm finding is most of my clients are millennials. They're in their 20s, early 30s.
Yes, there's something.
So it's sort of like I was being prepared for this. It was introduced to me. No one came to me and said, "Here, Craig, read this numerology book." I was kind of guided to it and began to study it, got fascinated about it. So I would be prepared to share at this time. During the time when I was studying and being prepared, people thought I had lost my mind. They thought I was crazy, thought I was evil, demonic. I still run into that now and then, but it's based on the age. It's based on the age. So I think we entered something called the age of Aquarius, where people are open to metaphysical things. And I'm just glad to sort of be a part of it, because people, whereas before I would run ads and rent a building and no one would show up.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, it's like the flow is more coming to me, and there's more demand for this information, and I just feel honored to be blessed so I can be a channel of it. But I spent, like I said, a lot of years. When I first started, I had to go to the Library of Congress. That's the only place I could find books on numerology.
Wow.
Started with Pythagoras, with the Greeks. They're giving credit for a lot of things. But when you study the Greek philosophers, the Greeks give credit to the Egyptians.
Yeah.
The Western world credits the Greeks, but the Greeks credit the Egyptians because that's where they went to study. I literally had a book in my hand and said, Pythagoras' father told him, "You've got to go to Egypt to study with the great masters."
Wow.
And I wrote down that, and I called the runner in, "Get me this book." It just got deeper and deeper and deeper into it until I found myself, reading about the mystery schools of Egypt, where
Nice.
this was part of the curriculum.
Oh, that's
part of the curriculum if you were a student at the mystery schools. So as I mentioned before, people who went to Egypt, Moses was there. He was raised in the house of Pharaoh, right there in Egypt. Yes. He studied, Jesus studied, and there's evidence of numbers in the scripture, like the story of Jesus, the number 3.
Yes.
3 wise men, 3 sleeping disciples.
The Trinity.
Rose on the 3rd day. I left a lot of them out,
Right? Exactly. You wrote a book.
Yes.
Share about the book.
Well, my book was my way of giving back in the manner in which I received. I don't even know where I got that from, but somewhere up in my youth, I picked that up, that you are to give back in the same manner in which you receive. So I received through music. A song led me to metaphysics.
I remember, yes. The third eye, right?
The third eye.
Yeah.
In search of the third eye on
I shared that
Everybody
with a
loves the
few people.
Sunshine album.
Yes, I shared that with a few people. I was like, you gotta hear this song. Yeah, that was powerful.
Roy Ayers. Later on, I actually met Roy Ayers, was able to interview him for a radio show.
Wow, that is fun. Oh my God, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
That's like a dream.
We are co-creators.
Yes, we
It's
are.
not happening like with a magic wand instantly, but we are co-creators, and the mind is soil, thoughts are seeds, and we reap what we sow. What you focus on and hold in your mind eventually becomes your reality.
Yes.
So,
That's powerful. Because in this generation, what I noticed is, especially you mentioned the millennials were, more coming, because I feel like they're awakening at such a fast rate. It's like they're coming through. And I noticed that too, because I target like women in the middle. But I have worked with, young kids, and I attract a lot of young kids. Like I say, like my daughter's age, my daughter is 32. So I attract a lot of young people around that age, but I honestly, I reach out to the older ones, but the young ones are the ones that come, and it's amazing. And they're so receptive. Yeah, they're on it. And they're not, I had somebody laughing. I said, these kids aren't playing. I said, they better not play with them.
That's right.
It's a whole new time and generation. I said, these kids are not playing, and they're changing and shifting up so many things in the planet.
For some who may be listening and wondering, what is this numerology stuff he's talking about?
Yes, talk about that.
Numerology is the study of the spiritual significance of numbers, or the spiritual quality that a number symbolizes. For example, the quality of leadership is symbolized by the number 1. Everybody knows that. The first, the fastest, the top, the best.
Yes.
But did you know the number 2 was a symbol for peace and harmony? The number 3 stands for expression and youth. The number 4 stands for work and order. 5 is a symbol for freedom and change. 6, we covered that, service, responsibility, and sacrifice. 7 is faith and wisdom. 8 is money and power. And the number 9 is selfless giving. Giving without thought of return, philanthropy. That's the highest. When we can give without thought of return, we have graduated, if you will, from the University of the Soul, which we call life.
Right. I think about that because I think the last time we talked, you told me I was a 9.
When is your birthday?
11/1/1968.
Okay, well, you're born on the 1st. So your gift is leadership. The 11 stands for light, being a master teacher, and being an illuminator, lighting the path for others. The name Jesus, Jesus, is 11. So when he studied, he proclaimed himself to be the light of the world.
Yes.
In the name, it was his destiny to light things up. Yours is a gift. Shows up in your birthday. So we have 11 plus 1, that's 12. And what's your year?
68.
That adds up to 24. 1 plus 9 plus 6 and 8. That's the number 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. The greatest among us, that number shows up. So you have to watch out you don't become a martyr. Okay, because you'll put others ahead of yourself. You're always worried about them. You're everyone's parent. And you have to know when to let go and let God, so you don't get pulled in to something that you can't get out of. But when we add that 24, which is your year, to the 12, 24 and 12 is 36, and 3 plus 6 is 9. So that's why I told you your birth path number, which is the sum of your month, day, and year, which represents your gift, is the number 9. So you're here to be a selfless giver. To give without thought of return is the highest of all the vibrations, as I had just mentioned. So you are an old soul, highly evolved, here to make it all better. That's what it's all about. to make it all better and to do it your own way. That's the number one. Ones are imitators. You're an originator, a trailblazer, a pioneer. And by that, I mean other people are watching you and they're going to start imitating.
They already are. I didn't even know.
And with that said, make sure you got a lawyer on your team so you can do your due diligence. So if you have anything that's, you want to protect,
yes,
you do that.
Yes. I was actually thinking about that one day. Because I noticed that because I asked a friend of mine one day. She said, I said, well, she was doing something, and I thought it was so neat. And I said, well, how'd you learn that? She said, from you. I said, okay.
There's only one challenge that shows up for you. One of my classes is turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
Yes.
What I do in that class, I tell people what their challenges are to enable them to address them directly. So it's no longer a stumbling block, it's a stepping stone. So your challenge, you find your main challenge by subtracting your day and year, those two numbers. So your month and your year, sorry. Your month is a 2, 1 and 1 is 2. Your year is a 6, 2 from 6 is 4. That's the challenge. So what does that mean? The number 4 stands for work and orderliness. So that means as a number 1, you won't have anyone standing over you telling you what to do. No one telling you when to get up, when to stop, when to start. You have to become totally self-sufficient and self-reliant. And you have to follow through, which is difficult because as a number 1, you are an idea factory. Most of us can't even get a good idea. You're kicking them out every second. Ooh. So it's very difficult to follow through.
Yes.
If a hen lays 1 egg a month, they can sit on that egg till it hatches. But if you're laying 10 or 12 eggs a minute, you have to learn to delegate.
Mm-hmm. That's a story that I actually just talked about like yesterday. I just told my husband, I said, I'm a visionary. I said, so I need people to do the things that I see. I said, because I see it. Yes. I said, but I need people to come in the middle. I said, and help me process it through.
You need some number 4s.
Mm-hmm.
People named Karen, people named Aaron, people born on the 4th, 13th, or 22nd of the month. These are folks who love to work, especially if they're born on the 22nd. The Lindas, the Aarons.
You said 27th?
22nd, two double deuces, 2 2s.
Okay, gotcha.
That's the master number 4. So you can use numerology to complement yourself. You can see, well, I'm lacking in this area. I need to find it. And who do I find? I can find people who are 4s. Okay. The number 4, by the way, the assistance that you came with to meet that challenge, the number 4s are D, M, and V. The letters D, M, and V. So you have lots of help with the 3 M's in your name. They will help you follow through. In fact, M is the 13th letter. The pyramids were built by measurements of the 13.
Mm-hmm.
And by that, I mean, what you're building, what you are establishing is going to continue. You're going to pass this baton to somebody in the family. So no, if you gave me their names and birthdays, I could tell you who it was. But what you're doing is going to live on.
Mm-hmm.
You are building a foundation for enterprise that will continue. You'll be able to hand it over, pass that baton.
I feel this so strongly too. It's like, especially, I started really feeling it about in the last year. And I was like, something, and it was like a strong, like legacy, because I
That's the
felt like
word.
my grandmother had passed it to me. And I kept feeling it so strongly, but I felt like I wanted to just hide, And I knew that it was time because Spirit told me it's time. Come out of hiding. It's time. You're a healer, you're a master healer, and this is what you're supposed to do. And so this is the journey that I've been on since like the end of
Okay. Well,
last year.
speaking of books,
Right.
when are you publishing?
Um, I have, I've published 3 already. So
Awesome.
I've got I'm working on 2 more, and then a multi-author book that I'm trying to get people to come into. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You are sharing your light.
Yes. And the idea is just like you said, it's like, I don't know, all of a sudden they started just flowing, and I've been writing them down, on my phone, and of course on the computer and stuff. But yeah, the idea is just like they just start coming, and I'm like, okay, wait. How do I do this?
First the ideas will come, then the people will come.
Okay. Yes. That is so powerful. I'm so excited about your courses though. How can people get more information? You did leave me the link and all that stuff, right?
Yes, yes.
So how can they get more information if they want to find out, when they are and all that kind of stuff?
I have all the information about the classes, tuition, um, on my website, and that's craigiewright.com. www.craigeewright.com. And
Awesome.
the way I set it up was I realized um, I used to teach for the community college in
Mhm.
Baltimore County. I was actually approached by them. Someone, they no longer work there, but they were in charge of adult education, and they asked me to teach a class, and I followed through on that, and I was able to find out what I needed to do. See, what happened with that situation was they needed at least 6 students. So I would get 4, 2,
Oh, wow.
7, and teach a class. But then for the next, couple of semesters, they said, we don't have enough students to keep the light on. So the way I designed these classes these are individual classes.
Okay, gotcha.
You will be the only student in the class. I've set up a calendar where you can pick the days where you want to take the sessions. So you don't have to be tied. Oh, Tuesday is 8:00. I got to hit my 8:00 class. It's not like that at all. You pick whenever it fits your schedule. You're the only one there. You get all your questions answered. You don't have to worry about, am I going a little crazy if I raise my hand? None of
Right.
that. I eliminated all of that. And I use Calendly, so you can schedule. You can schedule a class. You can take them in any order. You can take one class or all 6 of them. And it's based on each individual's own preference and schedule.
Oh, that is
All
really
that is
nice.
spelled out right on my website. So you can take one class this month, take the next class next year, if that's how you want to do it. You're not tied in to all of them. But there is a discount for those who decide to take all of them. There's a discount. And all that you can find out right on the website.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Um, it's just been so amazing to have you. Every time I have you, I learn something, and that's
Thank
to me,
you.
that's my bonus. Yes.
It's
It's
always
like,
good to meet a fellow light worker on the path.
yes, it's like, wow, because I really couldn't get into numerology, to be honest. And I'm a numbers person. I mean, like I actually was a person that considered majoring in math because I like math, everything but geometry. I liked everything else. I went all the way through calculus too. And I liked all those classes, but I just,
Awesome.
I started thinking about, what am I going to do with it? How we do.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be a writer way back when I was just out of high school, and my mom and them was like, so how you gonna eat?
Some of the people who love us the most can discourage us
Yes.
from what we actually came here to do. It's
Yes.
part of the test.
Yes.
Will we continue to heed the outside world? Will
Yes.
we surrender to the inner voice?
Yes. Yes.
That's the test.
That is the test, because you're right. People come at you, especially if you share stuff. And, over the years, of course, we've learned you don't share everything. Some stuff you keep right here.
Yes.
But, when you're young, you're like, oh, I want to be a writer. I want to be a this, or I want to do that. And then people are like, writers are starving artists. I mean, you like to eat. How you gonna eat? And so you change your plans because of that. But otherwise, you might have done something different. But I still
that
always
is a great point.
Mm-hmm.
And what you just said is one of the main reasons I tell people you should get a numerology reading.
Yeah.
Self-concept means so much in terms of who you become.
Yes.
And it's usually based on what someone else has said about you. As you just said, well-meaning people who love you, who they want you to have a successful career. Mm-hmm. They wanted you not to starve.
Yes.
But God made you a writer. Yes. So even though it was coming from a genuine perspective or a need to be loving and kind to you, it was detrimental. And this is why I tell people, you got to get a numerology reading so you can see yourself the way God sees you.
Yes. Oh, that was perfect right there. See yourself the way God sees you.
Exactly.
Because that's the journey, because we don't typically do that because, of course, we're not coming from that place, and
right. That's right.
Oh my God, that
and
is so
just
powerful.
think how misleading it could be. If someone who loves you, who wants the best for you, can lead you astray, just think of someone who may have their own agenda. Yes. Okay. Yes. What are they telling you? What are they putting in your ear to get you to do and say and become? And this is what's happening. So many of our young people who are turning to crime, picking up the gun, and going to the streets, they're listening to the wrong energy. Yes. And that's kind of my main thing, because I lost my best friend when I was 21 because he was listening to the wrong energy, and it took him out.
Yes.
It took him back home. As I gained a perspective, it took him back home. I'm sure his mission was complete, as short as it was. Yes. But he passed the baton to me, so I'm about extending the mission of others while they're here and making it more fruitful. How can we have heaven on earth unless we are doing God's will? And how can you do that unless you have an insight as to why you're here, what your gifts are, so you can become part of the solution instead of part of the problem?
That's why those young people come to you, because they are being guided, because they know. And also because of that, what happened with your friend. Because in your heart, there's a need to help young people to get into this and to get this information and to.
That's what I'm broadcasting. That's what I'm broadcasting.
Don't you just love it?
Yes, I do.
You are definitely channeling that energy, and I was definitely channeling that for you, because I was like, this is why, this is the reason, because they need it and you need to give it to them. And the thing is so many times young people don't reach out to people because people look at them in a different way, and they're like, oh, well, you're just young, they live a little longer and all kinds of stuff. But you know what, they're hungry and they're ready. And then the other part is, so many of them are coming here with their souls already evolved.
Oh yeah.
I look at my own children and I can tell, because they're woo-woo children too.
I heard I cry. God heard our cry and sent them.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, yeah. So the young people, they have to get this. They have to, because they're the future. We're not going to be here forever. We, just like you said, we have to pass the baton.
Definitely.
You know, absolutely. Oh my gosh, this has been so amazing. I could talk to you forever. And you know what's funny? I said the last time, I said, we got to do this again. So when you reached out, I shouldn't have been surprised. But this has been just fun and glorious. And then, you know, so much information has come through. So if you are listening to this, I hope that you got so much out of it, because I did. And I was sitting here trying to, and Dr. Wright said he did. So share with the people where they can find you. If are you on YouTube or anything like that?
Yes, I am. I'm on YouTube. You can get all my social media addresses at my Linktree address.
Oh, awesome.
Which is www.linktr.ee/I am Dr. Craig.
Okay, so it'll be you got it on your links. Okay, so it'll be in the notes, so you can definitely grab that and click on it wherever you're listening or watching this, because of course it's going to be on the Anchor, Spotify, Google, Apple, all these other places, and it also is on YouTube as well, so you can watch it there. So everything will be in the description. You can click on the link so you can see about his classes and see how you can get in. It sounds amazing, because personal classes, hard to find. So I think that, you know, the knowledge and the information that Dr. Craig has, I just wish I could just crack open his brain, you know, and just grab it out. So anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It's been so much fun. Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes. So definitely check him out and make sure that you follow him on wherever you find him, because he is an amazing, amazing soul. So thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. Bye now.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Outta Savannah, Talking with Tammi.